So you know Rainbow Hawk, huh?
Yeah.
What's he like?
What's he like?
Yeah.
He's like a 60s hippie.
Uh-huh.
Got a couple of dogs. Well, now I guess he lost one dog. He's got one dog that follows him around. And he does dot art and sells it on the street.
In La Paz, right?
In La Paz.
How long has he been down there?
At least 5 years. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe 6 years.
So how does he make his money? I mean, how does he survive down there?
Very interesting. He sells his art. He sets in an internet place, and he has these books full of his art. And if you want to buy one, he'll go run a copy off on the computer and sell it to you. And he talks to the white people that come down there. If he hasn't scored a meal, well, he'll tell you that I haven't eaten for a week. Said I had enough to feed my dogs, but I haven't eaten.
Does that work?
He'll do that, yeah.
And all of a sudden he's got himself a big meal,
yeah,
huh?
All of a sudden he's got a big meal in front of him.
God, that's a great, you know. Is La Paz kind of full of?
Is what?
Is La Paz full of people like that, or is he just kind of stands out?
He's definitely a one of a kind.
So he hangs down at the Malecon and meets all the tourists, and
they started to put in. They sold off El Mogote Peninsula and was going to put condos in over there, and he said, over my dead body, and he started forming a revolutionary group to battle this.
Oh, wow.
And he got a guy named Peter. Peter was born in Mexico City, and he's Scottish by descent, and Peter became the president. And all Rainbow ever was the start of this. He never held a position in it. But they had a treasurer and secretary and everything you could think of. There were over 500 Mexicans signed up on it. And
so did they stop the condo project?
well, I'll tell you, when I left there, they were over 2 years behind schedule. It was the only thing they had a bulldozer road in and put up a palapa on the end of the spit, and that's all they'd gotten done. And
oh, they never had any money then to really do the project.
Well, yeah, it was out of Texas money.
Yeah. Sounds like a lot of problems to me. We know with federal zone and Mexican land laws.
To start with, it was Mexican land. It has burial sites on it from
probably Ejido too.
Natives. There's mangrove forests on one side of it and turtle habitat on the other.
Yeah, that's an impossible situation.
Right.
Especially if it's an island. These islands are all like governed by.
It's not a peninsula. As you're coming into the peninsula, it's all sand dunes. And they bulldozed right across them sand dunes and gravelled them and put in a road. They want to put condos and hotels and everything out on it. All it is silica sand. Not a very stable place to build.
No, it doesn't sound very good. It doesn't sound like it'd be very successful either, you know. I mean, they say La Paz has grown quite a bit, though, since I've been there. I haven't been there in years, you know.
The last census was while I was down there, and it was over 400,000.
God. Yeah. I think it couldn't have been more than 100,000 15 years ago.
Back in the 80s, there were about 30,000.
So how long have you not been living in La Paz? How long when did you move up here?
2 years ago.
So you haven't been back?
No.
But Rainbow Hawk is still down there.
Rainbow Hawk is still down there.
God, I like that name. If I had that name, I could have been president, I think. You know? Jeez, that's such a great name.
Yes, it is.
And he sounds like he's quite a character, you know. Somebody else was talking about him who'd been down to La Paz. So I guess he's getting kind of famous, you know, and then on the internet. But you don't think he was the founder of Greenpeace then?
Well, I don't know. He was invited aboard a Greenpeace boat, and they treated him pretty good.
Wow.
But when you look up on Greenpeace to see who established it, his name ain't nowhere.
Well, maybe Rainbow Hawk isn't his real name.
I would probably think not.
It's just too good a name to, you know, just be.
Yeah.
Gosh. Well, thank you. Thank you for talking to us about it, and
you're welcome.
Welcome to Ensenada. I mean, you're not going to get as hot here as you are in La Paz.
God. I don't need a rainbow hawk here.
No, there's no rainbow hawk that I know of here.
No.
There's a lot of characters, though.
Yeah, there are.
There are a lot of real characters. A lot of
met one
interesting people.
That, my name is Andy, and I introduced myself, and he said, "Well, I'm Andy." I don't know whether he was telling me the truth or not, but he's a Mexican and he speaks perfect English, and he said they kicked him back across the border.
Oh yes, yeah, we've got a lot of rejects living down here.
Right.
Yeah, some of them do okay, and some of them turn to crime, you know, to get enough money to go back, and so it's kind of a problem here, but not so much now. Maybe it's going to get worse as people start to escape the United States, you know, and come back here and look for jobs or whatever.
Right. Hopefully their new president will help.
Well, hopefully, you know, I'm optimistic. I'm an eternal optimist, you know.
Well, I am too.
I don't like to gloom and doom about everything.
Well, the last one, that was another thing about Rainbow Hawk, is he was very much against Bush.
Uh-huh.
And
well, I can relate to that.
We come in and I might make a remark like, well, you know, fish do breed on kelp too. And just he'd come up in high gear, you know. He's protecting the mangrove forests.
Uh-huh.
And that's where fish breed.
And they breed in kelp too.
Yeah. But he didn't want to hear about the kelp. He wanted to hear about the mangroves.
Well, sure, they got their agenda, and you know.
So rather than get kicked out for being too expressionless about it, well, I learned that if I went and walked in the door and I'd say, "Hey, have they hung that son of a bitch yet?" I'd get a complete rundown on Bush. Everything, all the media throughout the world had to say about Bush.
Yeah. Well,
I asked him one time, I said, "Do you think they ought to send him to the Hague?" He says, "I hope not. They don't have a death penalty."
Yeah, war crimes. You know, Nuremberg, they were mostly the people who were convicted were crimes of aggression, not for crimes against humanity. You know, and this kind of fits. You know, I don't know. Maybe they're waiting for him to be out of office, you know, before anything happens. Because now he kind of has immunity, but once he leaves
office... he's just talking like, "Oh, I was such a great president."
Oh, yeah.
No, he wasn't such a great president.
No. Well, thanks for talking to us. Don't worry about expressing yourself in Mexico, though, because if they didn't have free speech, I'd have been kicked out years ago.
Mexico's a free country.
They would have kicked me out a long time ago. So thanks again. Thank you, Andy, for your comments, and we'll see you later.
You're very